Over the past 60 years, Aer Lingus airline has carried 35 million transatlantic guests. Initially, guests could fly to New York and Boston, whereas today Aer Lingus offers direct connections from Ireland to 13 North American destinations. This summer marks Aer Lingus' largest ever long-haul program with 2.75 million seats across the Atlantic, including new direct routes to Philadelphia, beginning March, and Seattle, which will commence in May. In 1958, Aerlínte Éireann became the 17th airline to begin scheduled services across the North Atlantic, and the inaugural flight touched down to a salute from the 165th Infantry of the New York National Guard. Before departing, the airline held a celebratory banquet attended by then Taoiseach Eamon de Valera and Minister for Industry and Commerce Sean Lemass, as well as the mayors of Dublin and New York and a large press contingent. Early flights were populated mostly with those emigrating from Ireland, and it is estimated that the airline carried close to 15,000 guests to and from New York in its first year. Flight time from Ireland to New York was then approximately 14 hours outbound, and cruising altitude was between 16,000 and 18,000 feet, making the journey more susceptible to turbulence. In 2018, the outbound flight duration of the ever-popular Dublin to JFK journey is almost halved at a scheduled 7 hours 30 minutes. Pictured marking the diamond milestone in retro uniforms of that era are Aer Lingus cabin crew Muriel Cook and May McGreevy, along with former air hostess Lily O'Connell, aged 79, from Leopardstown, who worked on Aer Lingus' early flights crossing the Atlantic some 60 years ago. Picture Jason Clark. Lily O'Connell, age 79, from Leopardstown, is former Aer Lingus cabin crew, having started with the airline in 1958. Speaking at the celebrations, she said, "Becoming an air hostess was my dream job. It was always my number one. When I was flying back then, we would fly from Dublin to Shannon and pick up passengers at both airports and then fly to New York. I loved the passengers. Everyone was just so friendly and lovely. There was great excitement in the air. I remember the Americans on board coming to Ireland, as they called it. They were so excited to be meeting their Irish family connections for the first time. For Irish people flying home, they had saved for months for the airfare, as they were so expensive back then, so it was just lovely on board. Everyone was in great spirits. I met my husband on board and we got married soon after. Traveling across the Atlantic was just such an incredible experience all those years ago." Commenting on the anniversary, Ruth Ranson, Director of Communications at Aer Lingus, said, "This weekend we proudly celebrate the heritage of our national airline and commemorate an important milestone in Irish history. Over the past 60 years, we have warmly welcomed leisure travelers, business travelers, immigrants and home visitors on board, continually growing and championing connectivity between Ireland and the U.S. On behalf of Aer Lingus, we would like to express our gratitude to all those who have chosen to travel with us over the past 60 years, and we now look forward to welcoming the next 35 million new transatlantic guests on board." To learn more about Aer Lingus, visit www.aerlingus.com.